Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it is for Friday, 17th day of April, 23rd day of Nissan. Hope you had a very, very meaningful Pesach, and I hope all of your post-Pesach arrangements are going fine and that you're staying safe. Here's another thing that you need to know as you emerge from the Pesach season, and that is about a law called Chametz Sha'avar Alav HaPesach. That literally means Chametz that Pesach passed over it. Well, let's explain that in greater detail. What that means is, you know that you and I were not allowed to own Chametz during Pesach. That's why we sold it, that's why we burned it, and that's why we nullified it. If anybody owned any chametz on Pesach, after Pesach, the rabbis deemed it prohibited because they wanted to discourage people from trying to own chametz on Pesach. So they said, if you have chametz sha'avar alav Pesach, if you have chametz that you kept over Pesach and you owned it, then it's prohibited after Pesach. Usually you don't run into that problem because you and I, hopefully good people who are seeing this Dvar Torah or listening to it, know to sell our chametz, burn our chametz, nullify our chametz, and all chametz that we encounter after Pesach is stuff that wasn't owned by a Jew. At the very worst, it's bought back from the non-Jew, but that's totally proper. So we're all okay. Now, but there are some stores owned by Jewish people who aren't following halacha, and what they do is they own their chametz right through Pesach. That's chametz sha'avar alav Pesach, and you're not allowed to be benefiting from it. So if you went into that store and you bought a box of Cheerios from them and ate it after Pesach, you would be violating the rabbinic prohibition of benefiting from chametz sha'avar alav haPesach, of chametz that Pesach passed over it while a Jew owned it. You're not going to encounter this problem in the proper Jewish stores. Good, observant Jewish stores sold their chametz, and the chametz that you buy from them on the morning after Pesach is not chametz that was owned by a Jew on Pesach. Okay, so the place to watch out for is any Jewish store that did not properly sell its chametz and owned its chametz through Pesach. You're not supposed to be getting any of that chametz and ingesting it. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to consult with the rabbis of your community and find out which stores are okay and which stores are off limits. Generally, your good, proper kosher stores are going to be okay to buy from the morning after Pesach. The ones where, and you may not know, is who actually owns that Safeway or that Giants. I'm just mentioning a few random chains. You know, who owns that one? Is it Jewish owned? Was it properly sold? And you don't happen to know. You'd have to consult the rabbis of your community to find out. And even a convenience store somewhere, if it just so happens that it's owned by a Jew and let's say it wasn't properly sold, it could be a problem. So please check wherever you buy your chametz for the next while and make certain that the chametz there was properly sold. The rabbis of your community will also tell you that in certain stores where the chametz wasn't properly sold, you can start to rely on buying your kosher bread there, let's say, I don't know, 2 months later, because you could be positive that this is not bread that they owned during Pesach. They wouldn't be selling it on the shelves anymore 2 months later. So the rabbis will kind of know the clearance time of each kind of shelf item, and they'll know when it's safe to go back into that store and start buying chametz again. Incidentally, this only applies to real chametz, so you'd only have to watch out for this on things like bread, Cheerios, or whatever. But if you're buying some item that just happens to have some nullified chametz, very, very tiny amounts, or items that only have kitnios in them, that isn't really chametz, it's just some of those kitnios items. We won't go through what that was. We described that on a different day. But if it's just a kitnios item which wasn't really chametz, that like the sweetened item that you want to buy that has no chametz, so those items would be no problem. Thanks for logging on. Have a great Shabbos and log on again after Shabbos for more. Bye.